what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're playing the new Trial of the Grasses seasonal event, which is an alternate game mode in which every unit gets damaged by 2 and then boosted by 4, unless it's a Witcher, in which case it only gets boosted by 4 and doesn't take that damage. That of course means that Witcher decks tend to perform best in this event, but today we're going to try a deck that focuses primarily on a different archetype to see if there are any great cards that have been overlooked because they're not Witchers. So let's go check it out. So because Witchers are the only cards that get boosted without taking that damage in this event, Witchers tend to be the best cards in this event. However, we almost never get new Witcher cards, which means that the meta for this event hasn't really changed in the past year. And that's why today we're looking for hidden gems that people may have missed because they're not Witchers, to see if it's possible to beat Witcher decks using a different archetype. So today we'll be playing a Northern Realms Uprising deck that will flood our side of the board with lots of units and then boost them with Queen Meve. And because with this event, Meve will automatically be inspired when we play her, it is very easy to set her up. Then we can use King Foltest to create additional copies of bronze cards in our deck, increasing the total number of units in our deck and giving us a little more boosting, which means more units for Erland to boost and then transfer those boosts onto himself. Or alternatively, if we create copies of the Blue Stripes Commandos, or the Dun Banners, then those cards can summon themselves from our deck onto the playing field, giving us lots more units for Meve to boost. If we do that with the Dun Banners or the Blue Stripes Commandos, then of course that means that they will go into our graveyard at the end of the round. Then we can use Princess Pavetta to bring them from our graveyard back into our deck in round 2 or round 3, making our deck big again for Erland. Or we can use Amphibious Assault to bring those cards directly onto the playing field. So then the one key Witcher that I added, because he's just too good to exclude, is Keldar, because when we have 4 cards or fewer in our hand, he will spawn a Witcher student in that same row at the end of our turn, and in this event, Witcher students are worth 6 points each, so that adds up very quickly. Then add in a few engines like Black Rayla for damage, and a Strenger for boosts, Temerian Drummer for boosts, then finally with finishers like Vissegerd to deal damage based on how many boosted units we have, likewise with Temerian Infantry, and Lyrian Scytheman will get boosted based on how many boosted units we have. So there's a look at some of the key combos, but now I'll flip through to show you what else we have. And notably, we do have Devotion, so King Foltest will also boost the units that we create copies of at the bottom of our deck. And Immortals is basically just a point slam, because since it is not a Witcher, when we play it, it will take 2 damage, removing its shield, boosting it by 2, then it will also get boosted by Trial of the Grasses by 4, turning it into an immediate 12-point play, making it another solid finisher. So there's the look at the deck, and like I said, the focus is on getting as many boosted units as possible to see if we can outscore those meta Witcher decks. I'm excited to see how this compares to the competition, so let's go see it in action. Alright, going up against Skellige here, and we'll go first. And this could be a serious test because Skellige Witchers is the best deck in this event. Alright, we have King Foltest, but we don't have any good targets to create additional copies of, so that combo is not looking great at the moment. Other than that, we have Erland, which would be a great finisher if we can create additional copies of cards in our deck. Meve, another great card to boost all of our units. Donimir to help protect those cards. Keldar, another great one. Let's get rid of a Scytheman. Amphibious Assault, okay, that could give us Dun Banners, so let's stick with this. And let's start with Donimir. Alright, Selective Mutation. That'll give them 12 points worth of Witcher students, and then the ability to optimize their hand. Now let's go Foltest. Alright, it's a Bear Witcher Quartermaster. So they'll make more of those Witcher students. Now we go Amphibious Assault into either Dun Banner or Blue Stripes Commando. Let's go Blue Stripes Commando. Put it next to Foltest for able to get boosted and create copies of that every turn. Alright, it's a Megascope. Probably to create another Bear Witcher Quartermaster. Now we go Meve. Put her in the other row, because this row is going to get very full with commandos. Let's use a stratagem on Meve, so that she doesn't get locked. She is very clearly a target, though. If they have any removal, they will definitely use it on her. Alright, let's armor up. deal some damage to Donimir. So at least at the moment, Meve remains. Now let's go Temerian Drummer. Technically, what you want to do is whenever you're going to play a bronze unit, when you have Foltest out here, you want to use your leader ability to boost the bronze unit that you actually want to create copies of first. Otherwise, you're going to create copies of Temerian Drummers or whatever other bronze unit you play, and not your Blue Stripes Commandos or your Dun Banners. Let's get it out. Would have had one more had we used our leader ability first. Alright, it's Gerd, and there's a lot of units for them to hit. And it's interesting, in some ways, this is the Northern Realms equivalent of what they're trying to do, especially if we were to play Keldar here. That would give us an extremely strong setup. I just wonder if maybe we try to save Keldar for a future round, because he is so good. In which case, let's use Uprising on one of these Blue Stripes Commandos, as we were saying. Want to do that first, so that these guys are the ones we create a copy of. So we can get another one out. Because now I'd like to play Tridam Infantry. There's Meve's boost. Alright, Offering to the Sea. There are a lot of units out here. It is not enough for them to catch us, though. So maybe that's why they use their leader ability here. We are still in the lead, though. Alright, but let's use a leader ability charge here on a Blue Stripes Commando. Get that boosted, create a copy of it. Bring that copy out. Then I think this will probably be the last card we play in this round. Let's go Immortals. We do need it in the melee row. But it'll lose its shield here. And then the reason why I put it there is because if they do deal additional damage to this row with rain or other sources of damage, then it'll lose that shield and get boosted up again. Alright, it's Leo. They certainly have a lot of Witchers out there. It is not enough for them to catch us, though. Even after that damage from their weather effects. So if we pass here, we will still get the boost and damage from Tridam Infantry, the boost from King Foltest. We won't have any time or space to get more Blue Stripes Commandos out here, but I think it is safe to pass. Now they can play a card, but Meve will trigger on our next turn, which they may not realize. Oh, it's so close, but it is just barely enough for them to still take the round 1 win. Alright, so they won round 1, but it took them an extra card to do it, so they're probably going to drive past here. The card we really want now is Pavetta. We can use Amphibious Assault to get her, but we'd love to have her directly in our hands so we can save Amphibious Assault for round 3. So let's get rid of Target Practice. And I think we get rid of Temerian Drummer as well. And a Strenger. Decent card, yes, but not the one we were really hoping for. They are playing. It's Ernachad. Oh. Devious. Very devious. So he will deal 11 damage to whatever unit we play next. I think we still go Amphibious Assault into Pavetta here. Get her out. She's 7 points, so she will damage Ernachad, but more importantly, still allows us to get those Blue Stripe Commandos out. So he's down to 4, which means that at this point, it's not automatic that he will destroy whatever card we play next. We'll see if they have a Sucrus to go along with him, though. No, it's the Witcher Trio for a point slam. Alright, so now what we do is I think we play Keldar to spawn in the other Witchers, and I believe the boost from Trial of the Grasses happens before Ernachad deals out his damage. If I'm wrong about that, then Keldar still has 1 armor, which means he'll be hanging on by a thread here. Alright, Keldar does survive Ernachad's damage, so that's great. He'll spawn out Witcher students. Alright, now it's Fukusia. Uh-oh. Is this going to bring back Ernachad? It is. Alright, this time he's an 11 again. Fortunately, we do have some passive points coming from Keldar, so that was huge that we got him down here. If we're just looking to sacrifice a card, then Lyrian Scytheman is probably the most disposable. It will deal damage to Ernachad, and maybe weaken him just enough that we can play our more important cards after that. So I think we go that route. Lowers Ernachad to a 5. As I was saying, Keldar will continue to spawn out these Witcher students. That's going to be the real key here. Okay, Barongar, they certainly have Witchers in that row, so he's safe for the moment. Now I think we may want to use our leader ability to get out another Scytheman and take out Ernachad. That means we can now safely play whatever we'd like, and we'd like to do Strenger. That way she can boost on the end of our turn. Alright, it's Yerden. That does hurt. Alright, in that case, both of our remaining cards take 2 turns to set up, so it's a matter of do we prioritize Erland or do we prioritize Vissegerd? Vissegerd is no longer effective after they use Yerden, because we needed all those boosted units to set him up, so I think we go Erland in that case. And unfortunately, we do still need to play Vissegerd in order to pass them in round 2. I don't think we'll need to use Erland's Order ability, though, so let's keep our deck boosting. As I was saying, we won't have time to use Vissegerd's Order, but with the Witcher Student we spawn in from Keldar, and the boost from Strenger, we are still safe to pass here. So we'll take the round 2 win. Alright, and this is huge. We got a Blue Stripes Commando, which means we can bring out our other Blue Stripes Commandos from our deck. We definitely don't want to have 2 of them, though. Except we have a bunch in our deck, so it's going to be pretty likely for us to get more of them in our hand. Alright, so let's play him first, because he does take a turn before we can use that Order ability. Alright, it's Geralt Quen into a Bear Witcher, which will damage, but not destroy, our Commando. So now we use this ability, bring out all of our Commandos. We know they don't have Yerden, so it is much safer. Now what we do is we do target practice to boost this one Blue Stripes Commando that is not currently boosted. And that sets up the Temerian Infantry for a ton of damage on our next turn. Alright, it's Ermion into Freya's Blessing. Probably for, yeah, Bear Witcher Quartermaster. That's their best point slam. It may be close here. We're going to see. So now we go Temerian Infantry. And we just hit their biggest unit, which is the Bear Witcher. Have a pretty sizable lead. We know they don't have Yerden. Obviously, we throw stacked like crazy. It's Vesemir Mentor. And with that, we will win against the best deck in this event. Alright, so going up against Northern Realms here. And they'll go first. Alright, so we have Meve. I think we probably build around her in round 1. Then we'll save Erland as our finisher for round 2 or round 3. We don't have the ideal setup for Blue Stripes Commandos at the moment, although it does give us more units to help set up Meve. Let's get rid of one of our Temerian Drummers. Keldar is very good. Alright, they'll go Battering Ram. Yeah, it does look like, at least based on their stratagem, that perhaps they're going with Siege Engines here. So on their next turn, this will damage our highest unit by 3, and normally we would want to play Meve as quickly as possible, get her counter going as quickly as possible. She would be our highest unit, so she would be the one that gets damaged. However, even after that damage, she should still be inspired, so this Battering Ram shouldn't shut her down. So there is the damage. As I was saying, she's still a 9, but they will have more damage, I suspect. So let's continue to boost her with the Temerian Drummer. Alright, now they're going after the Temerian Drummer, somewhat surprisingly. Maybe they're going to try to move one of them out of this row, although it's going to take them a turn before they can use Carrick City Guards. They can't stop us here. Not that that movement would matter much. So I think now we go Strenger, and we can either play her on the left of Meve and single boost Meve, or on the right of Meve and double boost her. But I think we want to save that double boosting pocket for Tridam Infantry with Amphibious Assault. So let's just go Strenger here for now. There is Meve's boost. Not a huge deal, because we only have 3 units on the board at the moment, but we'll get more out there soon. But between the boost she's getting, and the armor she gets whenever she gets that boost, should be pretty hard for them to get rid of her inspiredness. Now it's Radovid's Royal Guards. So they're going the boosting route. It's alright, we are not going to damage those at all. At least not until we get Vissegerd out here. So now let's go Amphibious Assault. And Tridam Infantry into this pocket here, where we'll get boosted from both the Temerian Drummer and Strenger at the end of our turn. That's the card we want to prioritize the double boosting on. Alright, Lyrian Arbalist, as we might have expected, it is more damage. They're trying to pick on this Temerian Drummer here. It is technically the weakest link, the most likely to get destroyed out of all of these cards. I think what we'll do here is we'll go Blue Stripes Commando. It is something that ideally we would save to go along with Foltest. However, without Foltest, it's a way of just getting more units out here more quickly, because on our next turn we can bring the other one out from our deck. Just in time for Meve. And it may distract them, at least a bit. Alright, now it's Kirak Marine. See if they have Devotion. They do not, for what it's worth. That means they may very well have a Yrden. They're going with a bunch of leader ability charges here. In fact, that may indicate that that was the last turn they wanted to take. Problem with that is, we play Keldar here, get the Blue Stripes Commando out from our deck, and at this point, we have a lead, and we are going to be generating a ton of points every turn now. They'll move Keldar. That's actually very well done. Of course, there's no way they knew we were going to do that. They'll try to keep up here. And they can't. They're a card down and 19 points down. Keldar will still spawn at least one more Witcher over here, then he'll run out of space. Meve, every 3 turns, will still boost everyone. Still have the boost from Temerian Drummer and a Strenger, damage from Tridam Infantry. That means this is a very safe time to pass, because I don't think our opponent can overtake us very easily here. But after going a card down, they're kind of all in. The easiest answer is if they have a Yrden. Going 2 cards down and sacrificing that Yrden would be a huge commitment here. No, it's Griffin Witcher Ranger. I mean, we did row stack a bunch, so that will get a lot of boosts. But it's not enough for them to catch us yet. As I was saying, we will continue to get a lot of points here. Now our melee row is full, so we won't spawn in any more Witcher students. That will slow us down a bit, but Meve is about to trigger. I think get rid of our Temerian Drummer, so we lose some boost there, but it does make more space for those Witcher students. And at this point, to be honest, I'm not even sure they can catch us if they play their last card in their hand. Meve is about to trigger. There we go. Over a 30-point lead, Centurion Artificer is definitely not enough. Even after all this damage, that means they go 4 cards down, and yet we still win round 1, all thanks to Meve. Alright, so with this huge card advantage means we are almost certainly looking to push here in round 2. As for what we'd like to do with that, I think Temerian Drummer makes a lot of sense. Don't really need Donimir for what we're looking to do here. Kind of just looking for throwaway cards. We have several finishers with Vissegerd, Erland, Temerian Infantry, and Lyrian Scytheman, but not a lot of setup, so I think we get rid of the Scytheman. Black Rayla, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, that makes this much better. I am comfortable with this now. And in fact, let's start with Black Rayla. She'll get the boost, so she's immediately inspired, so she'll deal 2 damage every turn now. Alright, they'll go Banard Student. Not gonna have a lot of time to charge that up, though. We do put a shield on it. That'll slow down our damage a bit, but we can also more or less completely shut down this Banard Student. We go with Donimir now. It's gonna go Temerian Drummer, but, you know, we got plenty of cards to spare here. Plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Alright, now it's Germain. And all those towers are gonna get immediately destroyed, as we just saw. It's a little odd. Alright, now we go Temerian Drummer. And, I mean, we probably just hit the Banard Student. That's what I was saying. Those cows, they'll get spawned, but they'll immediately get destroyed. Griffin Witcher is worth some points. That is not enough for them to catch us. We still have the lead here. We still have 4 cards to spare. That means we have one, of course. Still had plenty of finishers to work with here. We'll take the 2-0 win. Alright, so going up against Skellige here. And we'll go first. Alright, so we have 2 Dunbanners in our hand. We never want that. We have 2 Blue Stripes Commandos in our hand. We never want that. Keldar is huge. We'd love to have Foltest, because we do have Dunbanner, Blue Stripes Commando, and Princess Pavetta, which gives us almost all the pieces we need to create a bunch of copies of these and then bring them back in round 2 or round 3. But we don't need both of them, so let's get rid of maybe Blue Stripes Commando and, well, okay, no Foltest. So let's start with the Temerian Drummer. Alright, we'll go Black Blood. That means that basically whatever unit we play next is going to get destroyed. And as I was saying, we don't have Foltest, so we can't do the big Dun Banner combo where we create a bazillion copies of them and then bring them all back in the future round. So why don't we sacrifice this? It will get destroyed, but it will still bring out its friend from our deck, so at the very least we get some thinning. And we still have a target to get boosted from the Temerian Drummer on this turn. Alright, now it's Torrential Rain. Let's go with Strenger here. And set up a boosting pocket, where if we say put a Tridam Infantry in between these two in our next turn, we can get a bunch of damage out of that. Alright, now it's Covenant of Steel. In their melee row, which could mean any of a number of things. Could be Dagur, could be Ernachad. Let's go Amphibious Assault now. Into Tridam Infantry. And put it right here. Alright, now it's Dagur. Yeah, that's certainly one of the possibilities. Oh, then leader ability as well. I'll set it up a bit. So now we don't want to play any humans, because if we do, they're going to take 2 damage from Trial of the Grasses and boost Dagur. We could still play Immortals, though, because it does have a shield, so let's go for that. Alright, now Delirium will deal some damage. Ooh, they did get Strenger so that she is no longer inspired. So that means she's no longer boosting on both sides of her. However, what we can do is we can go Keldar here. And his Adrenaline is now active. He's a Witcher, so that means he doesn't take the damage from Trial of the Grasses. So he's not going to boost up Dagur. Let's use Crystal Skull on Strenger. Get her boosted and inspired. So she'll be back to boosting on both sides, and Keldar will start printing those Witcher students. Alright, they're going on Crate Marauder. That'll deal some damage, yes. But it is not nearly enough for them to catch up to us, and I think it is probably quite safe for us to pass here, because we have a lot of points generated automatically from Strenger, Temerian Drummer, Tridam Infantry, and Keldar, even if we still pass. It's all happening automatically at the end of our turn now. They have quite the deficit to try to make up. But they'll try. It's Oneiromancy, and Yrden is probably the biggest threat, but if they're committing that in round 1, then that helps us in the future. Regis Higher Vampire would also likely do the trick, but it will take a turn before they can actually use that order ability. And they try to leech from Immortals, but the shield stops it from happening. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh no. They go down 2 cards, we still take the round 1 win. Alright, so now we have the rare luxury of being 2 cards up and having won round 1. So I think we are definitely looking to bleed here in round 2. Don't necessarily need to have the best cards, because our opponent needs to keep playing with us. Problem is, all these cards are finishers, and we have no setup at all. Let's get rid of Pavetta. And of course, as soon as I get rid of Pavetta, we get the card that goes with Pavetta. So, oops. Alright, Foltest. Actually, this can work incredibly well. Let's get rid of target practice, though. Donimir is also perfect. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll go Donimir. They'll pass. Okay, they have admitted defeat here. They know that we have won. The plan was going to be to go Foltest next, and then Amphibious Assault into a Dun Banner to spawn out all the rest of those units from our deck every time we create them at the end of our turn. Then we could pass, and we'd still be generating a bunch of points every turn. But they have forfeited, so we'll take the win. So there's a look at the high-boosting Northern Realms deck that, despite only using 1 Witcher, was still able to outscore the best deck in this Trial of the Grasses seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Now, full disclosure, as I said earlier, the meta for this event really hasn't changed in a year, so barring a stroke of inspiration, this may very well be the only deck that we do for this event. But thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.